David Fine Media, taking the spoken word to the next level.
Since the beginning, humankind has tried to make sense of the life around them. As evolution took hold, we began to look to the heavens for answers. In history, the stories of passions, conflicts, and wars have shaped the course of humanly time. And another monumental, life-changing event is upon us. And again, we look to the heavens. Forces, strange and powerful forces, begin to appear. These epic forces, shaped through time, have all combined in one monumental event, where the very best warriors of the custom ages collide. It's more than mania. It's CustomMania! The battlefield ignites with CustomMania happening now. Presented by the Figure Guys Podcast and David Fine Media. Hosted by The Plan, Zashman, The Apprentice, Talkin' Tyler Peters, and the Figstorian himself, Brother Brutus Valentine. Featuring an all-star panel, Mike Steyer, Nick Bartley, and the neon icon, Smash Ventura. Sponsored by Joey Bags LJN Customs, LJN for Life, LJN Elite Custom Figures, the Figure Guys Podcast, and we're living in the 1980s with Smash Ventura. Produced by David Fine, the Pod Daddy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans all over the world, it's fight time! Man alive! There are men alive on this show! Hey everybody, it's the neon icon, Smash Ventura, and welcome to episode 2 of this great 4-episode event, Custom Mania. And I am even more excited than I was on the first episode. Man, we got a great show tonight. We've got, again, 3 special guests, legends of the customizing world, and we're going to talk with them. And, as always for this event, we've got an amazing panel, and they're going to introduce themselves one by one, starting right now with my man, Jeremiah.
What's up, y'all? Jeremiah 9. Stoked to get this going, man. I'm a collector. Let's fucking do this.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Next in, Tyler. Tyler, jump in here. Tag in, man.
Yeah, my name is Tyler Peters, and I've got the best custom figurines that will blow your minds. Not figures. You get that, right?
Man, you and the figurines, we need to have
we've got problems. Yeah, we've got issues, guys. Yeah.
Next up, my God, this guy is the Indiana Jones of hunting action figures, the one, the only. Nick, introduce yourself, Daddy.
Hey, thank you very much, Smash. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys. Nick Bartley, host of Hunting Nostalgia. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. And the guy who I'm going to hand the reins over to, I nicknamed him The Plan because he's the greatest booker in podcast history. Zash, I'm going to give it to you, brother. Zash, the Plan Man. Ooh.
How are you, boys? I'm going to give myself some light. How are yous?
Doing great.
Awesome, brother.
Welcome to round 2 of LJN Custom Mania. We're going to firstly bring on, before I thank the sponsors, let's bring on the guy who's counting all the votes, Mr. Brutus Valentine. Good evening,
man,
US time to Brutus.
Man, Brutus, I jumped over you, brother. Let me make that up to you. The Figstorian, the icon, the legend, Brutus, be my Valentine. Is that okay?
Oh, well, that was worth the wait, that's for sure. Not a problem.
Okay. Sorry about that, brother. I got overexcited.
No, not you. Yeah.
We're all so fucking pumped up for this Custom Mania round 2. It's getting better and better. I can't emphasize enough the customs that we've had in this competition are simply amazing. I'm just glad I haven't entered because there's too much competition for me. But I'm going to thank some sponsors now. Joey Bags Customs. He has supplied all the trophies for the competition. So without his help, we couldn't have had some amazing prizes. We've got LJN for Life. They pitched in. If you guys are watching this on Facebook, you would probably already know LJN for Life, but they're a great Facebook group. The Figure Guys podcast, which is the podcast that Tyler, myself, David, and Brutus are co-hosts on. So you probably know about that. Beefs, Customs, and Figs. That's by Derek Danforth. They've pitched in some money towards the first prize, and Jeremiah's going to read out the first prizes in a minute. But we've also got our fellow collector and panelist, Jeremiah 9, has come in and put his hand in his pocket and pitched in some money also for prize money. Smash Ventura, he has done some amazing promotional videos and intros for us. So your company, once again, is called what, Smash?
Smash Ventura Productions.
Thank you. So, look, we've had plenty of people pitch in. We've also had Brutus Valentine pitch in some books, which are the LJN book and the Hasbro book. So there's plenty of prizes. Jeremiah, why don't you take us through them?
Yeah, we got first place is 26-inch CustomMania personalized trophy, $200 US, and a custom championship belt for the figure. And I should mention that's made by the incredible Nick David and paid for by everybody's favorite Portuguese pothead, DDP, Duarte DuPont. Second place, 22.
Love them boys. Thanks for that.
We got the second place 22-inch LJN CustomMania runner-up personalized trophy, $50 prize money, and a copy of either the LJN Superstars book or the Has book, which is haunting me because I sold my Hasbros. Third place, 22-inch LJN CustomMania third place trophy. And we got the Merit Awards, the Old School Award, judged by Brudai himself. The Sculpting Creative Award, Mike Steyer's judging that. The Paintwork Award, judged by Zash. The Favorite Figurine, of course, we know Tyler's judging that one. The Pod Daddy's Pick, David Fine. The Neon Icon Prize, everybody knows that's Ben Ventura. And the Saturday Night's Main Event Award, my favorite.
Awesome.
So that's what we got going on for the prizes.
Zash, you want me to jump back in, brother?
Yeah,
So your Smash.
All right. Let's get to our first of three. I got the David Letterman mic here. Our first of three very special guests. One of the all-time legends of the customizing world, and one of the guys that helped make this possible. A dear, close, personal friend of mine, the one, the only. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Warren Warsman!
Woo!
All right. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the
Warren,
intro,
welcome
Smash.
to the show. Wow. This is amazing, isn't it? How many people have actually seen Warren Warsman's face? We've all seen his hands a million times doing customs. But how many people have seen this man's face only here? Only here, guys. Welcome, Warren.
You're welcome for this exclusive.
I assume most people don't know your real name, so I'm going to break it to the world right now. We're talking to Joel Clace. Have I pronounced it right?
Yep. Perfect.
Now, Joel Clace is your real name. So tell us, what's up with the Warren Warsman man kayfabe?
The Warsman was my online persona on the old Wrestling Figs message board. And I tried to move that over to Facebook, but Facebook is very picky about having nicknames or not your true identity on there. So they closed my account down, so I had to reopen it. And I tried to keep my personal Facebook account separate from my hobby Facebook account. So Warren Warsman Man was born.
And you used my surname. Well done.
Yeah. I looked into the future.
That's a tag team name, The Mans.
Yeah, great booking. Yeah.
Now, Smash, I know that you're a massive fan of Warren's. So
Yes.
I'm sure you've got something you want to bring out into the world.
Well, let's see. There was that time in Vegas, but I won't go there. Anyhow, no, we never saw that. Anyhow, yeah, Wars and I go way back. Wars actually reminded me about 10 years ago, and this is the first time I've also seen his face in a decade. The man is like Dr. Claw, like we've discussed. You know, and he's got these videos where he puts up and he's got the hands and he's painting and his voice is soothing, and then I screw up an eyeball and I'm like, damn it! But anyhow. Wars, geez, I don't know what question I could ask you. I know everyone's probably got a good one, but I'm going to throw you a curveball. What was your first LJN figure and your memory of getting it?
So what, they came out in 84, late 84, maybe 85. Yep. I would have been 10. And I know I got Hogan and JYD in the wrestling ring and Sheik and Volkov. Probably not too many more. I didn't have... Oh, Hillbilly Jim. I know I got Hogan and Hillbilly in the tag team set. Sheik and Volkov in the tag team set. Man, I'm trying to think of what... I know I had another bad guy or two. Oh, Piper.
Yeah,
Piper.
Yeah, just, kind of that first series, but I never got Andre or Superfly or anybody like that, or Stud.
Did you get them in a cluster, or like did you start out with the tag team pack, or?
Yeah, I feel like I got the 2 tag team packs to begin with, probably on my birthday in June, and then in Christmas time I got a few more, but I didn't have many growing up.
Yeah.
Always wanted them, because my parents... I don't know why they thought 10 years old was like the cutoff age for toys, which that was just when wrestling toys were getting good.
Yeah.
Or, coming out. So, I kind of missed the boat.
I can remember watching one of your videos probably a couple of years ago, and you mentioned that you started making customs. I think you said early or late 90s. I remember it was 90s that you said. So you've been making customs since I was in diapers. Why didn't you ever go onto the LJNs? And what time did you start making customs?
I probably made my first custom wrestling figure in '94. I know I still have the scar to prove it. I was I had a Hasbro Ted DiBiase that I was trying to run a X-Acto knife through the waist, and I got it through the waist, and then I got it through my finger, and I had a nice a U flap on my pointer finger that I had to go get stitched up. So I do remember '94 was when I really started doing Hasbros. I did try one LJN custom probably around the year 2000. Somehow I ended up with 2 demolition axes, so you know what the natural thing to do would be. You got to try to make a smash. But that's the only one that I've ever tried. I did strip the paint off of a few, thinking, well, maybe I'll try, redoing a Jesse Ventura or redoing a Hercules just to see if I could strip the paint off. But I haven't done much with it since then.
So for you, it was actually the enjoyment of customization that led you back to collecting. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. I never
heard anybody say that before. That's neat.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess I never really thought about it, but that's very true. And then when,
That's cool.
I wasn't real big into Jacks or the Jacks line, I stuck with Hasbro's just because they were pretty cheap to get back then. And back then, and I had a full set and I held on to them forever. But then when, Jack started making Hogan and guys from that era, I jumped back in and started collecting. And
That's cool. I like that.
like I
Look,
told
I reckon-
Smash. Oh, go ahead.
I reckon about 50% of the heads that we see around these days, you've had your hands on. You become massive in the world of printing heads, and you work very closely with our friend Tom Veg. So you explain a little bit what got you started on these 3D heads and where you're going with it, if you don't mind.
Sure, and I think you'll appreciate this. I told Smash about 15 years ago, I was customizing the old 70s Mego action figures, like the Batman and the Robin with the real clothes. And I met a guy who was shrinking and enlarging heads for the Mego line, and he taught me how to do it, and I applied it to the wrestling figures. I was shrinking LJN heads to fit Jacks. I was enlarging Hasbro heads to fit Jacks. And as I've heard Zash say before, it's messy and it's expensive. And I got so sick of the mess and the expense of trying to work with those heads that I'm like, I got to find somebody who can sculpt these heads, because I think these new resin 3D printers will work out pretty well. And nobody really tried it, so I thought, screw it, I'll try it and see if I can find somebody to sculpt them up, because I'm all right. I've tried a few. The Playboy Buddy Rose was my sculpt. Tom did help me with a couple finishing things because I'm not as good as him by far. But yeah, 99.99% is all Tom with my input. So I'm kind of the manager in the background where I'll send notes or I'll say, make sure you get this in there. Or, people want you to go back and look at this. But
absolutely. Listen, guys, whack some questions at Warren, because we've only got a couple more minutes with him before we go on to the next host. He's a man of a million talents. So has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, I've got just one. I mean, has there been a rare figure? I mean, as far as an LJN that you still haven't made? I mean, maybe a silly question, but I'm just going to throw it out there.
I own a handful of them. I really only went after the ones that I was a fan of growing up, the weird ones like Honky Tonk Man and Adorable Adrian Adonis, the British Bulldogs,
Gotcha.
Macho Man, Hogan 2, but I've got the one in the white. I'm trying to get the yellow and red Hogan 2. I love that figure. That's probably the best figure ever made.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
we've got
a
you
question
coming. I'll go. Yes,
sorry.
go, Brutus. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was great listening. I was really enjoying listening to the process there. But how do you decide what heads to make with you and Tom?
I try to pick like a theme. Like currently, we're looking at Tennessee wrestlers, either from Memphis or from Knoxville. People who are pretty well known, but yet still pretty niche, that they'll never get a real release. So most of it is my, who I would want in my collection. And then I do take input from friends that just say, hey, we really need so-and-so in there. I'm like, you're right, we do.
It's fantastic. Yeah. It's great to get that representation into the territories. It's something that we've talked about a lot, and Thailand knows a lot about.
We have, yeah.
The more characters we can see rendered by experts like you and Tom and others, it's just going to expand the hobby even further. A hobby that could die because there was only a certain number of figures made, and this actually keeps renewing it and allowing more connectedness through the community as well.
Yeah, that's what I love the most about doing what we do. I feel like the customizing community has really kicked off within the last couple of years, because of the work Tom's done and the heads that people are able to get into their collection, that otherwise, you would have to kind of settle on something that's close or as close as you can get. But now, Tom's work is spot on in my opinion.
Absolutely, it's brilliant, and we appreciate all the work you do for the customizers. We couldn't have half the figures we put out if it wasn't for you and Tom working together and making it happen for us. And we've got you coming on the Figure Guys in a couple of weeks, so this won't be the last time we speak to you. So we're going to let you go, Warren. We thank you for coming on the show. It's been a good experience for everyone, and we'll speak to you in a couple of weeks on the Figure Guys podcast.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Thanks.
Thanks, Wars. All right.
Well, that was fantastic speaking to Warsman, wasn't it?
It's great to see his face. It's great to see his face.
You've been such a fan of Warren for a long time.
I look forward to a couple of weeks. I could have listened to that for an hour. So
yeah, totally.
There's so much to talk about. He really does.
Yeah.
The videos he does are great. He'll go on there and like guide you through different things and whatnot, and you just listen to him, and it's like wow. But for a while, I thought I was talking to a disemboweled body, but now it's great to see a face. So anyhow, moving.
Time to hype this shit up. Let's get Joe Gador on here.
Yeah.
And
moving
I always
right
say
along.
it wrong. It's the Aussie way of saying it. Gador. Bring the man on, and let's get this shit pumping.
Moving right along, we got another, in my opinion, icon of the customizing world. Another old friend of mine who helped me out. The one and the only Mr. Joe Gador! Give it up, everybody!
That's going on, guys.
Hell yeah! Welcome, brother.
My main man, Joe Gador.
How's it going,
What's
guys?
going on, man?
Joe Gador.
Yeah, I was telling Caleb earlier. I woke up this morning at 2:30 for work, so I'm my eyes are pretty red right now.
Yeah, you haven't been doing a bit of Dwart's stuff, mate?
Yeah, Dwart's eyes are always red.
I wasn't sleeping. I'm like,
oh, awesome having you on the show, man. Look, talk to us. Are you in this contest? Don't say what figures are yours if you are, but let us know. Are you in the contest?
Yeah, absolutely. So my original plan was try to do 2 figures per each round, but that didn't happen. So I put in what I had. I wanted to do a couple other figures, but just never got a chance to get to them. I had a Hogan I started, which was pretty much a complete piece together. Boots, knee pads, thighs, tights, chest, arms, head, all different. So that's in the process of being sanding. So that never even came true. So yeah, I like the figures I put in. We'll see how I do.
In the terms of experience, you're probably one of the most experienced in the competition, especially when it comes to entering competitions. You've entered so many competitions. So look, talk to us. What do you like about entering these kind of competitions? Sorry, I'm having a bit of lighting problem.
So I think the cool thing is it gives you a challenge. We all post our figures online, and you'll see 3 guys will make a Bad News Brown, or somebody else will make a Ric Flair or whatever, and it's pretty much a challenge to try to do something somebody else hasn't done. So my figures aren't so much something somebody else hasn't done, but my spin on it. So, and then the other thing is it is a really good challenge to try to get it finished and compete against some of these guys. And then you see these figures post, and you're trying to figure out, all right, whose figure is that? Because you don't really know.
What do you think of the quality of the competition so far?
I think that first round really struck me. I really liked the Haku. I thought the Haku idea was really, really cool. I like funky stuff like that. And then I'm a zoomer. I'm zooming in and I'm looking at different things, so I can appreciate, really, really good detail and what guys put into these figures, because it does take a long time to get these completed.
It does. It takes a massive amount of time.
Yeah. Did you vote, Joe?
No, I didn't vote. I talked to Zash before that. I said we shouldn't be able to vote. Anybody who entered shouldn't be able to vote. So I decided I wasn't going to vote, just in case I had somebody. I'm like, I think I know whose figure that is. It puts me in a spot, and I'm like, I'm not even going to vote. Screw it.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah. Everybody is welcome to vote except me. I know you didn't vote, by the way. I was just throwing that out there. Yes.
Yeah, every
I'm just drunk enough to not have realized that.
Yeah, every person
he's messing with it. Yeah.
Brutus,
Sash,
can you tell us how many votes we've had? Can you tell us how many votes we've had in round one?
You're happy to say that? We had 109 votes. Yeah, that's okay. We had 9 votes, which represents 10% of the members. Now, in the digital age, if you get a 10% conversion rate, you're doing extremely well. So, and I think there might be one more that came in just after, and a couple of minutes after I can put it in. And to me, what that actually shows is it's really part of a CERT relationship. That's a CERT. So that's community engagement and respect for talent. And so when guys were registering their votes with me, some were saying stuff, but I wasn't saying virtually anything back. I was just acknowledging the vote, and they were saying, "Oh, this is so tough. This is hard. I like that one, and I like that one, and I like that one." And I'd just play it straight and say, "You can only pick one," And so this is my feedback to the guys who voted. I'm not saying anything in the messages because I just want to make sure there's no favoritism, whatever. But I really respect first off voting and what you're saying about what's in there. So that was the LJN Elite, the CERT, the CERT, community engagement, respect for talent. So it's fantastic.
I love it. Fantastic. And I just want to let Joe know, don't keep those hands still. You have to keep them moving because there will be, no one else knows this, and this is first time it's been said right here and now, is there will be a couple of smaller competitions later on in the year. So this is something that we'll keep the customizers making customs so we can see what else is out there too. I'm thinking one of them is going to be called Custom Slam and possibly King of the Customs. But I'm going to put all this work onto Jeremiah because he's one of the admins in the group and he needs to pull his finger out and do some work. So it's all yours, Jeremiah.
Oh, good. Sounds good.
He loves a challenge anyway.
I'm fucking down. Yeah, sounds good.
Isn't that what you got? Isn't that what you got told at about half an hour before the show, that you need to pull your finger out and do some work?
Yeah, she's waiting outside the door, man. She's fucking waiting.
Brutus, you should talk. Let me reenact your famous scene.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
See the figure or the finger, though?
All I know is my butt hurts. Just.
Right.
It's only not Joe.
Better yours than mine.
Well, Jeremiah is on holidays at the moment, and what you guys probably don't know is that he's had a few runs before the show, so I'm expecting him to, as the show goes on, he'll either go downhill or uphill. So we'll find out. But let's get Canada some more questions here, going.
Yeah, it's Canada Day, so it's like our Independence Day. So we party here.
Let's get some more questions throwing at Joe, guys, while we've got him, because we don't have him for long.
Yeah, Joe, looks like you have an awesome, diverse collection there behind you. What is the primary thing that you like to customize? Is it wrestlers or?
So you guys were talking about, like what got me or what got Warsman back into collecting. I have 3 brothers who collect. My son, who's 24, who collects. All the stuff behind me is all his. This is like our toy room. So I have like a little 5x5 section. But I think as far as my favorite thing to collect is probably Motu. I'm a big Faker He-Man fan.
Is that right?
I have the original 8-back. I got the Wonder Bread He-Man. So I got a good collection of Masters of the Universe.
I got to hook you up with somebody later. That's really cool.
But just everything. So my son's got like over-the-top figures in the package.
Man.
He's got Ernest P. World right here, so it's pretty much everything. Anything you can think of, we have,
Do you have an over-the-top arm wrestling table?
No.
Yeah. Over the top! Oh my God!
That's much. Oh, what's that? Oh, who's that?
Ernest.
Ernest.
We got double Ernest.
Come on, man. Let me out of that. Come on.
Know what I mean, Bird?
Yeah. So
that's some cool shit, man.
It's pretty much packed. It's packed full in here. I figured I wasn't going to use my basement today. I'm in the process of putting everything in totes. I made a big trade with Tom Trotta. I got the G.I. Joe flag that's sitting in boxes that I can't set up because I got no room for it. So I got to try to set that up. So we collect everything.
What's this G.I. Joe flag? What is it?
The original battleship, the 7-foot battleship from G.I. Joe.
The biggest thing ever made, isn't it? This toy accessory ever
Is it
made.
really?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Wow.
It's huge.
Wow.
So yeah, originally I wouldn't even collect vehicles because I don't have room for them. So Tom had messaged me and said he had the flag, and my son's like, "You got to get it," and I'm like, "I can't." Like, he's like, "Definitely get it before your wife comes home."
And the commercial for that was so awesome because they had green screened little kids on it running around, and I saw that on TV, and I was probably like everyone else going, "I want." That was awesome.
So yeah, so back to like customizing. My brother Mike, I don't know, I'm sure you guys know Mike and Matt and Justin. They put on wrestling shows and all that stuff. Mike wanted to make figures for his show of all the wrestlers. I hadn't collected anything in years, and he came to me. He's like, "I want you to start helping me make these figures," and I'm like, "I don't want to fucking make figures." So I started making little tiny wrestling figures for Mike. So I'd be going to toy stores and trying to find figures that looked like them, and I try to make a match. And then I started doing that, and then I'm pretty sure I saw Mike actually showed me a Jerry Monroe, Hulk Hogan he had on eBay, and Mike fell right in love with it. So once Mike fell in love with that and bought the figure, and I'm like, I don't know, freaking, I'll give it a try. So then I started doing the LJNs. LJNs are fun. Hasbro's are really fun. I love doing the Motu figures. Actually did some giant Motu figures. The articulated LJNs, I did a few of them. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much anything that piques my interest, changes every week, what I want to do.
What is your Instagram name, Joe? Or
You
Facebook?
gotta make me remember. It's Gatterer Customs. Same as my Facebook. So it's Gatterer_Customs.
You guys make the pillow buddies.
My brother makes the pillows. Yeah, my brothers do the pillows.
Oh, those are awesome.
That's
So
it's hard to,
Yeah, he's got him and Mike and Matt do the pillows. My brother Justin does like all the audio stuff, and then I pretty much do figures. Yeah.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Really cool.
Yeah, some awesome stuff, Joe. We can't wait to see your round 2 and round 3 figures. We've got some sensational figures coming up. We've got one more guest to come on now. So, mate, we're going to farewell you. Thanks for coming on the show. It's always awesome to hear your voice, to be honest, mate. We love chatting with you. So hopefully we can chat again soon on one of the podcasts. So let's all thank Joe for coming on the show.
Yeah,
thanks, Joe.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Speak soon, buddy. Thank you.
All right, bud. Thank you.
I'll cut him off a little slightly early, but look, next we've got the Beast coming on. He's the man that's got the 6-foot goatee. He's just bring him on, Smash. Just bring him on.
Bring him on.
The man, Sin Body!
Boom!
Woo!
Here he is.
There he is.
The big man.
Yeah.
What's shaking, Big Daddy?
How you guys doing? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Mate, you look like you've killed a few people this hey?
I'm enjoying listening to you guys and stuff, and it was really cool to hear Warsman and Gator and everybody talking. It was really cool. And it was neat to see Warsman's face, just to kind of put a face to the guy that's dropping all these heads all over the place, which are awesome. Yeah, right before I got here, I'm still in my I'm covered in toy guts. Like I'm all
Toy guts.
What it say?
He's killing figs, Zash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good to see Warsman because next time we'll have a different face.
Well, was it Warsman that we saw, or fake or Warsman?
Ooh,
It's
that's
a
good
mystery,
question.
yeah.
Sin, have you been fighting? What's been going on? Last time we spoke to you on the figure, guys, you were looking to get out of lockdown and have some more wrestling matches. What's been happening in your life lately?
Yes, sir. Yeah. As soon as life gave me the green light, I was strapping on my boots and my knee pads and beating the crap out of humans across the planet. Wherever they let me do it, I'm down. This week alone, I want to say I think I had 8 flights in 6 days. I was in
Goodness.
LA, Pittsburgh, and then in midweek I flew up and did a surprise match for ICP on their Juggalo show, and then I flew right back where did I go after that? Denver for 2 days, and I just got home. And then between that, I'm teaching in my wrestling school in Las Vegas. That's where I am. And and then I got to actually help produce a show on Saturday. So this week, I'm in the ring at an ICP show, and I'm just like, I want to hurry up and beat the crap out of this guy because I want to get on the plane and go home and play with my toys.
I was going to say, when you're not covered in toy guts, you're ripping out someone else's guts, right?
That's fucked. I sit and look at my figs and go, I just want to get in the ring with these fuckers. He's doing the opposite.
I'm still like shaking like the light tube particles out of my back from being in that ICP show. Yeah, so I my toy guts on me. I have like human guts on me and light tube stuff and all that jazz on me. So yeah, another day at the office is just a silly
Another night. Yep.
Happy to be here.
Sin, I've got to be honest, I was a bit disappointed that you didn't enter CustomMania because I really thought you were going to be involved in this one. But now I hear you've been fighting and killing people. I understand why you didn't have the time.
No time for that.
Yeah, no. I really wanted to enter it, and I didn't think I would have a couple of the guys I wanted to enter in time. And then I just thought I'll just throw my guys on Facebook and whatever, and if people like them, they like them. I didn't join up because I just didn't want to miss any dates. I didn't want to like be tardy and miss something. I didn't want to disrespect the contest because I know everybody's hunkered down trying to make the best things that they can make, and I am too. I just didn't want to not deliver on an exact date. Weirdly, as soon as you put a date on it for me, and then I'm rushing, and then that takes away half of the joy.
Sure.
And for me,
good point. Yep.
It's weird, like because when I was a kid, I remember seeing my grandfather would make like model airplanes, and I just thought that looked boring as hell. And I'm like, what are you doing, old man? And now I realize, especially during the lockdowns, I mean, that was some Zen stuff that he was doing, and that's exactly what I'm doing with toys. So I just don't want anything to rob me from my Zen of playing with these toys and making these toys and so forth. So, but it's a gateway to my sanity, no doubt. I love doing it, and I'm really, really happy to be part of this community.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's
definitely.
I don't have a question as much as a compliment, man. Like, I didn't just think you were going to enter CustomMania. I thought you were going to win. I jizz my pants every time you post something on the group.
Oh, thanks.
Your shit is spectacular.
I really want to.
Was that too much? Was that too much? Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I feel like you're jizzing now, mate.
Yeah, you're none of that without dinner and a movie first. Okay, I got.
Woo!
Come down 2 weeks, and you got to earn it, you know. But it's weird. Like whether I'm in the ring or doing the customs, I pride myself on thinking out of the box. Do y'all know who Amazing Jonathan is? He's a magic comedian guy. He's sort of like he's the Jackie Chan to Jake the Snake's Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. And so him and Jake both would always say that not only do I think out of the box, but I think across the hall from down the room, from down the street where they keep the box. So I always want to be different. I like to be different. I have to amuse myself while I'm stuck on planet Earth, and whether I'm in the ring, I want to be different. And if I'm customizing these wrestling figures, I want to be different. So I'm kind of cheating. I'm kind of stepping out of LJN realm to make LJN. So like that Ultimate Warrior that I didn't know he was going to be done in time. He took so long. Like I put so much TLC into these little bastards. It's not even funny. And so he's LJN size. He is what I have constructed as an LJN, but really he's like an Andre the Giant, like vinyl something or another. He just happens to be the right size.
Yeah, the one that's got the arms like this, I think.
Yeah. What I did was I over sculpted his body. So like if you put my picture next to Andre's picture, it's similar, but I've sculpted onto the body. I kind of use it as an armature, and then I did what Warsman was saying about the messy with chemicals growing and shrinking heads. Like I'm too dumb to be a 3D guy. I'm just a artsy fartsy guy slopping around in the chemicals and in the rubber and epoxy and resin and all that stuff. So I kind of grew Ultimate Warrior Hasbro head, and it was a little bit kind of morphed out. So it kind of was its own thing, which was kind of accidentally cool. and I made it till it got to be the right size, which was weird because his head is really shaped weird if you look at that toy.
I came across that photo today, actually, and I was just blown away by it. I really liked it. It was it was just intensity captured in one shot, just utter intensity. And I thought, man, that is fantastic. Oh.
That Ultimate Warrior almost got whipped across my room and destroyed into oblivion, and I had to like calm myself. He was all done, and I just didn't put like a finishing coat, like I didn't Mod Podge him yet, so he was still exposed. And I was just like, you know what? There's this one little line where I put these little decals on his undies, and I'm like, I ripped like a little part of the decal, so I took like an acrylic pen. I was just going to touch up just a little thing, and it just splooged all over his leg, and I just got this black jizz.
Oh, Jeremiah did that before.
Brutus, man.
Welcome to custom splooging all over the desk, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he made love to an octopus or something. The octopus just quick release, and man, and I had to catch myself and not throw him right across the room. I was so mad.
You didn't destroy it.
I couldn't watch him because it wasn't Mod Podge. Like it was all still, all whatever, and I just.
But Smash is breaking kayfabe over here.
We'll just call it Mod Podge. Okay, we'll leave it there. But you've got to be careful with those octopuses because those octopuses can go crazy for some bad pipes.
To go on to what Jeremiah was saying, it is very weird making some of these guys that I actually have been in the ring. That is totally weird.
Yeah,
and I'm in a weird age pocket where I wrestled a lot of the old school guys, but I'm young enough where I can wrestle with the new guys. So I've really wrestled a lot of the dudes that are LJNs. And every time I set foot across the ring from them, just looking at them, just thinking, what the hell am I doing with my life? Like, why am I sitting across the ring?
Like who would be one of those guys? I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Like Jake.
Oh. Jake
I was fascinated when you were talking about that on the last podcast you were on. I was just glued to that shit. But I'm curious. I don't remember if you answered this because I don't know if it's come up, but I am fucking hammered. Do you have a Sin Bodhi custom, like of yourself?
So I've had a lot of people ask me about it, and I just was kind of like, nobody wants that, whatever. And then I actually this past week had somebody say, no, I want to buy a custom. So I figured when somebody did buy one, then I would mold him so I could make him. And then so I'll make some molds of it just because, like, why not? And it'll be decent merch, I guess, if I go to when I go to wrestling shows and stuff.
Oh, for sure. That's dope. I can't wait to see that.
That's a great idea.
I actually had I think Warsman or Tom or something is making one, but I didn't even know about it. Like the retro wrestling dude, Todd, he was just like, I'm making one of you. I was like, I'm making one of you. I said, okay, awesome, sweet. But what I have here is like, I had a sort of a little 3D full body sculpt that a business made for me to like market some toys. So, but it's like me. It's like actual size for size me. And he's about 8 inches tall. He's about an LJN size, but the LJNs are kind of so cartoony jacked that like I'm a pretty big dude, but my real life, dimensions are not the cartoon dimensions of LJN. So I just look like this scrawny little doofus. So I chopped the head off, made the head LJN size. I sculpted, like I epoxied more. I basically epoxied some muscles on me because I just look too damn frail. So yeah, he is. Long story short, he is in the works. Little me is in the works.
That's awesome to hear, Sim. We've got to let you go, mate, because we're going to hit on with the competition now and show these round 2 figures, mate. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Awesome. And I was watching and looking at some of the pictures, and Brutus had messaged me about some of the ones that I liked. And I'm not supposed to say, I don't think I'm supposed to say, so I won't say, but I really, really enjoyed all of them. I thought they were so creative. And the one I picked to me was like, there was other ones that were cleaner or this or that, but I just thought the one that I picked was just the most clever. I thought like that took the most imagination in my humble opinion.
I voted the same way.
I wear bunnies and duckies on my feet and clown paint for a living, so what the hell do I know about anything? So.
Yes!
We love it.
Good on you, Sin. Thanks for coming on, mate. We'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, you guys.
Sin.
Hey, thank you, Sin.
Great to meet you, man.
But
Great to meet you, brother.
I always click them off too early. I apologize to everyone that I do that to. It's not an intentional thing, but I just jumped the gun. All right, what do you reckon, Smash? Is it time to rip on with round 2?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of most ages, it is time for CustomMania Round 2!
All right. Let's go with the first figure. Or do you want to say something first, Brutai?
No, let's go.
I thought you said something. All right. First up, we have, ladies and gentlemen, Islanders.
The
I'm going to
Islanders.
start the video from the beginning. Yep. Here it is. The Islanders.
Okay.
So, mate, over to you, Brutus. I'm going to let you take these two Islanders.
Haku and Tama, or Toma in his first appearance. Looking at these guys, can we go through to some single shots? Or what I really noticed about this is, and guys, when you get a chance to look online, have a look at the work on their tights. Like, really spent some time close up. Tama's got this great face. He had that cheeky grin, and also the accessories, from the Samoan and the Islander style beads. I mean, you can get an idea there. I mean, these are colours that are really popping straight away, and it's really great to see Tama reunited with his great partner Haku, and this time reunited, right, both as Islanders. And look, well, we're not going to mess with this guy, right? It's Haku, the man of the hour. So, it's a great way to kick off round 2 with what we have is a great rendered pair of one of the most underrated tag teams in the Golden Age.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there, Brutus. That was very well said. I agree with everything you're saying. Next figure we've got is Terry Gordy. Let's go back a touch on Terry Gordy. This is why I wanted photos and not videos. Okay, here we go. Terry. Oh, that's not Terry. Let's go to Terry Gordy. Okay, we're going to hear from Nick.
I love it. This dude is walking right down Bad Street, USA. I mean, come on. Look at his face. It's so cool. I mean, LJNs are so beloved because they are both realistic and cartoony. And this guy is... I love him. I really, really love him. The hat, the face. It's the face that does it for me, truthfully. But
got those big chops.
I love this guy.
Yeah, he's a ripper of a custom, isn't he? I haven't seen one either of Terry Gordy, so it was a good one. All right, so next we've got the 24-inch Python Hogan Smash Ventura. Talk us through this one.
Wow. The first thing that jumps at me is the Hogan tan is really difficult to capture.
Oh, yes.
He's almost like a cooked hot dog in a way.
Yes.
And the tan is nice. It's clean. It looks natural. I like the shading on the yellow. He's changed shading over the years. The head for me really works. His hairline is something that is also tricky to capture. That kind of fading at the top when he just started losing it. Oh wow, yeah, this is solid to me. A great pose, and I don't think I've seen one in that pose before. So I'm kind of getting flashbacks of before he became yellow and red, and he was doing the pose with Blassie. But solid job all the way around. I really like this one.
Yeah, it's a beauty, isn't it? All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got the Rock and Roll Express. All these tag teams that are coming through, I'm very impressed with how many custom people have made, but also the quality that's going into them. Yeah. Exactly, and they haven't rushed them. They're fantastic looking figures. Jeremiah, what do you think?
Yeah, the attention to detail really caught my eye here, top notch. And everywhere I looked to examine finer points, just was left impressed. They're done to perfection. The poses are rocking. The faces, the colors are spot on. Decal's perfect. It's just all on point. The lines are clean as fuck. Everywhere these guys went, they ended up with belts. I can definitely see them doing the same in CustomMania.
Damn straight.
Great. Yep. Oh, WrestleMania 2. Who do we have here? We have Big John Studd in a different pose, a totally new created Big John Studd, and his major nemesis, of course, the Fridge. William Perry. Now, we all know what happened in the big battle royal where, Perry was ousted and then he put his hand out to shake Stud's hand and then pulled him out. Stud's one of the more cartoony LJN creations, so to see him created in this a more lifelike manner, right, is really good. And you could get the height because he was a big man. I think he was billed at 6'10", and Andre wouldn't let him step over the ropes because he said there's only one giant. Now, if we look at their faces, there's a bit of enjoyment going on from the big Stud behind, and Perry's got that cheeky look that he had on him. And, of course, Perry was a big man. What did he come in at? About 358 pounds, I think, the Fridge. So looking at these two, right, a great recreation of the Battle Royal and WrestleMania 2, and any collector would love to have Perry in their collection so they could fill out that Battle Royal complete.
Yeah, I love hearing your thoughts on that one, Brutus. You're spot on, and what a great recreation of a great moment in WrestleMania. It's probably WrestleMania 2 was not the not sort of what it built up to be, I suppose, but this was a great moment in it, and that's just my view anyway. So we'll move on to Sting. I think this is a wicked-looking Sting. I don't know what the deal is with it. Parts-wise, I know what the top is. I don't know what the bottom is. Tyler, what are your thoughts? You're a figurine expert.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Better than Precious Moments, baby. I mean, it's the Stinger. You know, this was my guy. I mean, I was a fan of Sting. I grew up on WCW and love the paint, the charisma, and the Gold's Gym. You know what's cool about this? If you look at his background, Sting, I believe, co-owned some Gold Gyms in California because he came from that bodybuilding world. So that's what's interesting to me. And you're right. You know, the whole posing, I think that adds so much. The face paint, he had so many different schemes over the years. It's unbelievable. I mean, I really love this figure. I mean, because I'm a Sting fan, and it resembles him. It's got the old ponytail, the rat tail he used to have back in the 80s with Crockett. And you look at the arms, I mean, the pink pants, everything works. The shoes, I mean, just the overall attention to detail, like you guys have mentioned. I'm in love with this figure because, you know, I was such a big mark for Sting.
Yeah, I'd love to know what he used for those pants and shoes. But
I know,
sure
exactly.
He had some tricks up his sleeve, but, you know, that's the glory of some of these things. You give some secrets away and you don't give others away, and this may be something that he tells us later on or may not be, but I love this thing. I reckon it's a great job. Look at those pants.
That's nice. That's a nice really touch cool. At the bottom too, with the Nikes.
The rat tail, the Nike swoosh. That's all so on point.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it looks just like it.
All right, well, we'll move on to the next one. We've got tie-dye Macho Man. Macho Mans are always a big hit in these competitions. Smash, what's your thoughts on this cool paint job?
That is, I've never seen one like that before. Like making the knuckle tape actually protrude off. That's really neat, and it looks textured from the photo, like real actual tape. And then we got a nice touch with the tie-dye shirt, which I don't know. That looks like cloth. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
that looks like
is it? I don't know. I thought it was painted on.
That's a nice
paint.
Touch.
That's paint. No,
it's
done well though.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And then we got the little Macho Man on the back there, which that's really tricky. And I like the Intercontinental belt. I'm not sure what gold paint was used there, but it kind of looks like, you know, authentic old gold. But I'm not sure if the knee pads are different. But what's with the sunglasses there? Does that look like eyes to you guys, or like maybe the shine on the glasses?
It's just the camera, the flash reflection.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Whoever did this one, I think, delivered a really good effort.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of Macho Man, we've got two of them, and we've got two of them in a row. So we're going to bring on the next Macho Man now. The Macho Men. Macho. All right, let's see the next Macho
Well, you got the village. You got the village people below you, Zash. So
I guess it makes sense. Yeah.
Oh my! Look at this in motion. Oh my God, Jeremiah, talk to me. What do you think?
Well,
Epic,
you know,
right?
just like last week, I love that Haku. It was like Sin was talking about, out of the box thinking. Right? To me, that's what this is. I wrote stuff down because I'm drunk, so I wanted to make sure I could fucking get my thoughts out. So, to me, yeah, this is like an awe-inspiring rendition of my favorite wrestler flying through the air, performing my favorite move. Like, I don't play with figs, but if I had this, I would not be able to resist him coming down with this elbow on Hogan every morning as I ate breakfast over and over. Fuck Hogan. Whoops.
and how many kids did that at home, off the couch,
Right?
off the bed, right?
Except
At the
Macho Man.
time they were collecting.
But when you did it with a
would have
Macho
done
Man
that.
fig, he's coming off the ring like this.
Yeah.
It made no sense. So this, to me, I love this, man.
This
And
is
like,
a
the custom
great
itself is incredible.
version,
The
yep.
pose, the molding, the paint job, it's all fire. A must-have. I want it. I need to know who made it because I'm sending them a message after CustomMania.
I'll let you know something that I really appreciate with this figure, that I'm sure you guys have probably noticed too. But the positioning of the legs, it is just so accurate to what he used to do with his knee, bottom knee up, going underneath the other one, slightly bended. That's what makes the figure for me realistic, is the fact that they've got this leg work to a T. You can see it in this shot here.
Yeah.
It, to me, that looks like Macho Man. If you cut the head off it, it would still be Macho Man.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
This person is a complete artist who's made this. Sculpting wise and paint
it's so
wise.
realistic. He's a fall to the ground and a 3 count away from mistreating Elizabeth. That's how real that is.
Well, we all love this one. We're going to move on to the next one. Just giving us a few more shots of this one. There was more photos than I thought.
So cool.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
Bobby
That's
the
awesome.
Brain Heenan.
Weasel.
Oh yeah, the Weasel, man. Hey, Bobby the Brain Heenan, I can agree. Maybe the greatest manager, if not managers of all time, professional wrestling. Love it. Got the whole suit, unique look. I've never seen the bow tie. I mean, even the hair, the nose. I mean, this is very close to what he looks like. I mean, this is how well done this is. Bobby Heenan, loved him in the AWA, loved him during the big 80s wrestling boom with the WWF then. All the WrestleManias, the Heenan family. This guy, just his wit, personality, cutting promos. I mean, it's amazing. Look at the buttons, the jacket. I mean, everything is just pristine. I'm just impressed with all these customs. It's just, I'm having a great time, guys, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this Bobby Heenan. I'm blown away.
I'm expecting to see him in the little ring standing next to Andre. I mean, that's
exactly, yeah. At WrestleMania 3, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like he's just about to annoy the crap out of Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, you brought that up. Yeah, Gorilla. Got you.
Andre got brainwashed by that guy in the white waiter's outfit.
He's just
Wait a minute. Yeah. Reba McIntyre's Tito Santana's sister. Yeah, there you go. See, great lines like that, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Reba McIntyre.
Exactly.
I really do like how the coat's draping down lower as well. I think it's a nice clean paint job. Good colors. I think it's very well done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to the next figure, we've got the Wild Samoans.
Ooh.
It's been done a few times before, but this is a great rendition of it. Nick, I think it's your turn to talk us through this one.
These dudes are terrifying. I mean, you bump into these two guys in a dark alley, and I mean, I would play dead. I think that's what I would have to do. Look at those faces. You can hear them screaming. You can hear the voice. It's unbelievable. I'm blown away by all of these. I can't do anything like this, but for someone to be able to do this and to make it look like you just opened up that OJ, look at that face. Oh my God. It's unbelievable to me. These are awesome. I love how it looks like you just opened it up. This could have absolutely been a 2-pack for the LJN figures. Absolutely. Look at that, screaming. Oh my God. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's intimidating just with it, like you said, Nick, the mouth.
It's
I mean,
scary.
he's a toy, and I'm scared.
I know.
No.
Come on.
Another nice touch with the two of those is that their bodies are slightly different.
Oh yeah.
Like one looked a little thicker to me in the side-by-side shot, so that's a nice touch also.
I agree.
Right.
We all love a Wild Samoans, so we'll move on to the next one.
Those are beautiful.
Wow. Okay, all I've got is one word for this: clean, clean, clean. Jeremiah.
Yeah.
That was 3 words, but all the same words.
That was one word. We just repeated it. Yo, okay, so just like the Jake I was talking about in round one, this is what the original LJN Big John stud should have been. The Valentine body has never looked more massive and imposing. The tall stance, the difference in color tones with the beard and hair. There's no other description necessary. This is what the original should have looked like, and I wish this was mass-produced to replace all the original studs in our collections. I have to have this. So whoever made this is making money after this. Because
look at that face.
It's
so good.
This is so good.
It's
so
incredible.
Good. I'm in love with this figure. Like, I've already jizzed, so I'm busy tonight, John, but I'll call you tomorrow.
When we get such a clean paint job like this, I don't know why, but it reminds me of the word velvet. I always like to keep it very soft like that. It's like a velvet appearance, and they're the kind of for me personally, they're the kind of figures I try and make them look like, and this I can really appreciate the paintwork on this. It's done to a T. So, yep, clean. One word, it's 3 times. Next, we'll go on to a custom that is of an epic person that really, really is one of the strongest forces in the LJN community. It is Brutus Valentine.
Oh.
We're not going to let our Brutus Valentine talk you through this just yet. Smash, does it look like anything like our Brutus Valentine?
Well, I haven't seen our Brutus in the shower, so maybe a few setups. I don't know, but wow. You know what jumps out at me immediately is I'm pretty sure that's the color combo that Brutus wore during their title defense at WrestleMania 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Rightio.
Yeah. This is so interesting. It's out of the box, as we mentioned with a few others, and now that I look at it, he actually physically took a half. I thought maybe there was some sculpting or something, but no, he actually physically, from the looks of it, sawed a Brutus in half and a Valentine in half and made it fit together, probably with a few touches, but it's seamless to me. I thought
3-pack. Look at the 3-pack.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
You know,
Definition.
I thought it was one figure that maybe the entry did sculpty on or something, but no, he actually combined He actually combined these two this great tag team into one guy. I have to say I like this one a lot. The painting's
I'm glad
nice.
you mentioned that, Smash.
Yeah,
it's actually, we can all laugh and have a joke about this being Brutus Valentine and all that, but the actual skill that's involved in horizontally cutting a figure neat enough to put it back together is actually a tough job. And this here, you can imagine putting two halves of a figure together and then seaming them together so you cannot see the join. This is actually quite a skillful thing to do.
I mean, look at the edge right in the torso there. Even on the nose, like, you can't really tell. That is just... I
don't get how they did it, though, because these figures are different heights. Valentine's a taller figure than Brutus.
Yeah, I agree, Jeremiah. That was another thing that kind of stood out to me. But whoever did this put a lot of time and obviously a lot of effort into making this happen. What a great idea!
Yeah,
the dream team
really
together forever.
Yeah. I like how it's different. Yeah,
I agree. I haven't thought too much about the heights of them both, but. He's made it happen. So whatever he's done, he's worked his magic, and we assume it's him. We shouldn't say him unless we know. But the person who made it.
I'm just guessing. But Zash, go back to that previous shot real quick for a second, if you can. Okay, now see there, that other one there, from the side. Now, see there, you can see where I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that, Jeremiah. It looks like the height actually isn't too far off, but just an amazing effort.
It is. It's an unusual figure, and we're glad to have it in our competition, that's for sure. Moving on to the gimmicks. This would have taken a fucking shitload of work to do. Look at how many figures there are here.
Wow.
Nick, what kind of effort is this? This is one entry.
It is
one in three.
It's ridiculous. The Shockmaster. I mean, he is way better here than he was actually in WCW. Look at that.
The ding dongs. The ding dongs.
Wow.
Oh my god.
It's spectacular. It really is. It really
look at
is.
that.
This,
Yeah.
the African Dream. The Akeem figure. I love the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the backwards pumping. You got the weird. That was awesome. And this is legendary. Legendary.
With his painted Darth Vader mask.
I love the idea. The concept is what makes this so awesome. I mean, they look great, but the idea to think of this is spectacular.
For sure.
Love it.
Is it going to bust through a wall? Or I mean,
Is the mask removable?
So neat. Bravo.
Yeah, we love this. Thanks to the artist sponsoring this one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a great.
Yes!
Yeah.
My name is PN News, and I'm here to proclaim that my raps don't rhyme, but my character's not totally lame.
Okay, moving on to the next figure. We've got an awesome looking NWA. Very clean, very neat, fucking cool. Jeremiah, talk us through it.
Yeah, this is an incredible rendition. Obviously, an iconic trio. All three of them are spot on. NW Hogan with a Patera instead of a Ventura body. You know, it's almost always a Ventura body. So that's a refreshing take. Flawlessly executed, clean as fuck. I've seen a lot of decent Razor Ramones, but this is the best Scott Hall I've ever seen. And Kevin Nash is looking fierce as fuck. I only collect WWF figs, but these three are enough to make me reconsider that. Top notch shit right
Chico. Yes,
just absolutely top notch, man.
Yeah,
I want all of these.
The
podcast is going to cost me a lot of money.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just like Nash's hair. I mean,
Yeah.
especially that time, that era. Yeah.
And the big long legs on the shorter torso, which Nash had. So, you know, that's a nice touch.
Good attention to detail. That's hard to fault this NWO, guys. So we love that. Moving on to Samoan Joe.
Okay. Yeah. I'll let you in a little secret. I don't watch much contemporary wrestling, but when I see Samoa Joe, he actually scares me. Right? he looks like that big, fat, strong bouncer who just would rip you apart like crazy. So it's in terms of the contemporary characters, it's great to see Samoa Joe. And look, there's such a lot of love for the Polynesian wrestlers, and they've played such a big part in the history. Right, and look at his face; he still looks mean as too. So, and the SmackDown Live on the blue, it's good to see someone looking at a contemporary character, recreating that in the LJN form. And I'm not an expert on sculpting, but if we have a look at this is putting a new pose in, putting dynamic action in there, and of course the mouth. Just have a close look at that. And one thing I wanted to mention about a lot of the figures, what the work on the faces in this round is amazing. And he's got that grimace, that Samoan Joe grimace that he's just about to open you up and rip your intestines out, as we had earlier. So SmackDown Live Samoan Joe is a great addition into this round 2 competition.
Yeah, well said. And it's also worth a note that SmackDown Live looks to be not a decal that's painted on, so we always appreciate it when something's hand painted where it's possible.
Yep.
So, yeah, good figure there. We'll move on to something different next. We've got Yagzid Khan. Now, Yagzid Khan, Tyler, what do you know about Yagzid Khan?
Well, I know he's a Mongolian assassin. I mean, I think this is an original because I did all the research I can with all due respect to the one who made it. It's awesome, though. I love it. It kind of gives you a superhero vibe and kind of gimmick, and the sculpting is done very well. And also, there is something very neat about the back of it. I mean, if we can take a look at that, I believe
when
there's
you
some
say
writing.
original, Tyler, when you say original, it's a figure from the person's imagination /
Right. I need to clarify that. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Ash. Thank you. Yeah, it's an original from their idea.
Okay, beautiful. Well,
yeah, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, now you guys will have to help me. Is that a Ricky Steamboat body that he used?
Well done. Well done to the figurine guy.
And then an epoxy sculpt on the jacket, and I believe the hands are from Johnny Valentine, who I believe wrestled in Crockett. One of those. So very interesting. The paint scheme and everything. The acrylic is also used with purple and white, blue and gold combinations. I like the mask. This is cool to see an original. It catches you by surprise. I mean, and look at the way his whole attire, the gold headdress. I mean, and it almost reminds you of the Spider-Man pose, which is kind of neat. And the way his fingers are doing. So, this is neat. I think it's nice to change it up. I don't know about you guys, but this was really cool. I mean, you had to do the homework on it, but I'm glad to do it. I think it's always nice to reach out in your creativity. I mean, on these kind of figures, not figurines. I'm getting it. Maybe some more precious moments kind of deal. But hey, there you go.
Yeah, I think it's very well done. Well, we'll move on to the next one. Bill Kazmaier, world's strongest man, was he? Brutus.
Absolutely world's strongest man in the strongman competitions. I didn't actually research how many times he won because at the time he was just the man. Now, of course, Ted Arcidi body. Kazmaier had a slightly different physique from Arcidi. Arcidi was a big bench presser, so he had that huge rig up top. Kazmaier was just like a lump of boulders all over, and I reckon this figure is capturing that. You see, there's just this power oozing out of him. And interestingly, Kazmaier, he signed with WCW, but he was wrestling up in Stampede. And Ted Arcidi's last documented match with the WWF was on a Stampede card where Bill Kazmaier was on as well in February 1987. They didn't wrestle each other. But for guys who don't know the legacy of this guy, and go check him out and then come back and have a look at this figure, and you'll see that the hair, the face, the beard, the physique, and the one strap is absolutely spot on. So, world's strongest man, Ted Arcidi. Well, actually, at the time, the world's strongest man did become Bill Kazmaier for some time, and this is great to have him actually celebrated, and it'll be good to see him and Ted Arcidi go at it one-on-one.
Yes,
it would.
So just talking about that briefly for 1 second, that one strap, was that due to a broken rib or something?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was a feud that was going on. I think he replaced Scott Steiner with Rick Steiner, and they were feuding with the Enforcers, Arn Anderson and Larry Sabisco. And he was doing like a strongman thing in the ring, and Arn came out and started shooting off his mouth, I believe, and Sabisco like grabbed one of the plates, the weighted plates, and hit him in the side of the ribs. Yeah. So he came out, I think, later in the show, and he had like the tape gimmick on, and then the one strap over the shoulder, as I recall.
Nah, good insight. Well done. I knew there was something there.
Yeah, and because the NWA back then, we didn't get so. Yep, and great to have that insider knowledge. Yep,
I got lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, we've got a groovy big guy, Mabel. Nick.
Yeah, we got a big Mabel here. Man, to be able to reverse the arms of a Bundy that effectively is amazing. It's amazing. I absolutely just love this. I absolutely love it. The mohawk going down. I mean, it truly does look like Mabel. It looks just like him. I'm blown away by the artistic ability. And it really, I mean, I know this may be slightly gross, but the arms, the under fat of Mabel's arms, it's perfect. It's perfect. I love it.
The man boobs, or as they're called in North America, moobs.
It is a tricky thing to do, reversing arms on Bundy, because they are quite thick and stuff. I've done it before as well, so it's been done well. I agree. I think that's very well said and well picked up. So next up, that was Mabel. Next up, we've got a mock, an MOC Piper. Jeremiah, you wanted this one.
Yeah, it's said all the time, but this gimmick would not make it past the idea stage in today's climate at all. Piper loved pushing limits and boundaries, and I loved following him over the line. The same said with whoever entered this gem into CustomMania. They went for it, they crossed the line, and they pulled it off to perfection.
Pulled it off.
And just like Piper, they went one step further, put it mint on card. Whoever did this, my hat is off to you. Next level thinking. And I thank you for bringing me over the line with Piper one more time. This is the shit.
Damn straight. I agree with you 100%. I think it's one of those figures that is definitely worth being in the competition and worth being carded. So now, look, I don't know much about Mexican wrestling, so I may pronounce this wrong. Tinieblis, Tyler.
I think that's close. Yeah, Tinieblis. Yeah, that's true. Because I had to look up YouTube tutorials how to pronunciate. I'll just be real. But he's a legendary luchador wrestler. I was just having to do some history on him. He worked as a stuntman prior to getting into wrestling and films and everything. Was discovered 1968. A magazine editor that was titled Lucha Libre actually came up with his whole concept and gimmick as far as the character. And if you translate that name Tinieblas, it means darkness in Spanish. And he was a huge draw in Japan and Mexico. And his rival was legendary luchador Mil Mascaras as well. That was so.
Yeah.
So, and he wrestled for 80 years. It's what's incredible. And he's got a son with the same name, just a junior. So it's a real fascinating read if you ever get time. And this is what he looked like. I was watching his matches. Had that hood with the yellow or gold, so to speak, and it's cool to see a championship belt around his waist as well. The whole cape. I mean, the luchadors were kind of your superheroes down there. I've kind of learned a little bit about Lucha Libre, but not a whole lot. So this was really cool to see this, and I think it's neat. It's thinking outside the box, like you guys were talking about, but it's old school too, and I think he had wrestled as recently as just a few years ago and maybe made a mistake on that. But it's amazing how these guys can still go and just their history and learning about them. So I think this is great. It's tremendous. It's very close to his attire, what he wore. So, I mean, the boots, how muscular he is. I mean, just the attention to detail. We can't stress it enough. It sounds like a broken record, but it's amazing. I mean, what do you guys think? I just think it's pretty cool.
Tyler, I think you deserve a trophy for that explanation. You
fucking right, you do. Yeah,
great job, Tyler.
Thank you.
Fascinating.
On fire, and what a great figure. So well done with that one, Tyler. I'm glad I gave that one to you.
Oh, no problem. Hey, happy to help do it.
Next up, we've got an awesome Rick Steiner. Look at these. Look at these moves, these action poses that people are putting in these. It's something we haven't seen before very much. And now we're getting all these action poses. I freaking love it. Like, who did I give this figure to? Who's talking about this one?
Me.
Smash.
Man, I love the dog face gremlin. I was a fan of his the first time I saw him on Superstation WTBS as part of the Varsity Club. He had the little face drawn on his hand called Alex that he talked to, and him and Rotundo would. I'm only going to say it once, but he said to Mike Rotundo, he called him Mike Retardo. So I love this figure. The tattoo is nice. The paint job, again, another clean one. The skin, good tan. But what I love most, as we talked about before, is these action poses. He is getting ready. He's got that grimace on his face, and I can hear Jim Ross in the background going, "Steiner line! Steiner line! Steiner line!" That's fantastic. The creativity of everyone that's entering, and it just keeps getting better and better. And like Tyler said, let's scratch all the records. I mean, great detail. Love that figure. Good job, whoever did it.
Awesomely said. Next up, we've got Chris Candido. Tyler, talk us through this cool custom.
Another one like New Jack that, passed away earlier. So this was a great tribute to me. I mean, we're seeing a 3D printed head by Mark Cochran, excuse me. And, a Tito Santana body with Don Morocco's right hand with the NWA title made by, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the belt's by Jameis, and an apple barrel acrylic paint on this figure, which makes me hungry. But it's pretty cool. And I loved watching Chris Candido. His work with the Body Donnas, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, ECW, held so many titles in WCW. I mean, he's one of my favorites, and he's underrated. Don't get enough of the respect that he deserves. And I just love it with the NWA title, the C down the pants, the blonde hair. I mean, they've got the expressions very close. It resembles Chris Candido, and I'm so happy to get to talk about him. And I'd love to get your guys' opinions because he's one of those guys. He had quite the career to have passed away so young. I mean, he really covered so much ground. So you talk about a guy that had a lot of talent that went too soon. That was Chris Candido. So he was amazing. I mean, just does not get enough credit. I'm still a little bit upset about that, as you can tell. I mean, in my tone, he's just amazing. So, I mean, great figure.
Great figure. Great figure. We love this Chris Candido, but we'll move on to the next one. We've got the Rockers coming up next. I reckon this is a beautiful looking Rockers, and I think from what I can see, it's all LJN. I don't think there was any other heads, but I could be wrong. I'll have a close up look in a second. Nick, how's your thoughts on this one?
I mean, the Rockers were tag team specialists. Whoever made these is a customization specialist. They're awesome. I wish we had Rockers from LJN, but now we have them from whoever this immensely talented customizer is. I love these guys. The finish, it looks so smooth, shiny pants, spectacular.
The belt going around the waist,
the earring.
The earring.
Oh
my
God.
God.
The fabric
and
is a nice touch.
And Marty's face. Marty had the man himself had a bit of an unusual face, and I reckon that captures him. It's like there was something going on there. I'd like to see the Rockers go against the Rock and Roll Express that we saw earlier from the
that would be good.
Yes.
Yep.
You'll notice also in this round 2, there is a lot of tag teams and double figures being thrown in. That wasn't accidental. Although we tried to put them in the formula that people had, or the same rhythm that people, I can't think of the word, the same rhythm that people put them in. I did say, okay, let's try and make round 2 as much of the 2 figures as possible. But yep, we love the Rockers. They're fantastic. We'll move on to the last one. We've got of the night. We've got the Hot Rod Piper holding fruit. Now, he did explain to me later on, the maker of this, that these are removable. I have got a picture of them not in his hand too. So they aren't stuck to the hand. They can actually be removed. Brutus?
Well, Roddy Piper, we get him again pushing the envelope. We're only sitting here, essentially. It's down to a few people, but this man was from 1984 to about before he left to make They Live. He was the person that got everyone in. And this was probably his most infamous moment in 1984, Piper's Pit. We know what the coconut's for. We know what the bananas are for. It was filmed, I think, in March and aired in June in 1984. And after that, he got his Legend Killer T-shirt that he used to wear. With a very polite Jimmy Snooker on set, Roddy Piper went to town. He insulted him like Roddy insulted him racially, which is what he did a lot. And then there's many stories about it. Jimmy said the coconut wasn't worked. Roddy said the coconut was worked. But if you look at it closely again, it is a whack on the head. And then the whole set comes down and he smears the bananas in his face. Now, this is a person capturing a moment in time, but Piper's Pit was how every angle was developed over that time. Roddy Piper was the heel to Hulk Hogan that you needed. Unfortunately, we never saw a main event of those two as singles. And really, I mean, this is imagination capturing. And given that the coconut and the bananas are detachable by this customizer, this is a mighty effort, and it's a brown boot variant as well. So Piper's Pit, Roddy Piper. Piper comes again. We get Piper, we get Savage, we get Hogan. They're the big names, but we've also had such a run of other figures too. It's been great to see. So I've got to just say, guys, you think it was hard to pick in round 1. So you voters, round 2, oh my.
Yeah, it just keeps getting better. I mean, it's all been awesome. Yeah.
I'm completely torn. I just I'm not sure how I'm going to sleep trying to figure out how to pick, but my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zash might have gone on mute.
Sorry, I did mute my microphone to eliminate noise, and I forgot to unmute it. I was talking, and I'm thinking, these guys are talking over the top of me. But you weren't, actually. You weren't.
No.
No, awesome, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of round 1, the start of round 2. All votes for round 1 have been locked into a vault now. Your votes are there with the vault man down the bottom below me. I actually asked Brutus during the week, I said, so tell me, is it a close contest or is it a blowout with one figure? He said, my lips are sealed. Even me, the guy's running it, can't get a word out of him. So there you have it, guys. He won't even tell me anything. So good luck getting anything out of him. So anyway, after all the 3 rounds are added up, then we'll give a total score, which will be next Thursday. But we'll be back next Monday with the wrap-up of round 2, the start of round 3. We appreciate everyone who voted in round 1, but we do need your votes to keep coming in for round 2 and 3 to make this work. So we had 109 votes for round 1, possibly 110. We don't know. Look, let's better that in round 2. Let's better that. Let's get more. So please,
it doesn't matter
please.
If you haven't voted in round 1. It's consecutive. If you haven't voted in round 1, it doesn't matter.
In round 1.
Yeah, go for it in round 2. I want more. And it'd be great to beat that 110 votes. Yep.
That's it. If you're in the group, the figure, the elite figures, elite customer, I don't even know my own group. Elite customers group.
Yeah.
Then just vote. Just vote. We want your votes. We've got over 1,000 people in the group. Bring them on, says Smash. Bring them on. But thank you all for coming on. Smash, will you wrap this up for us today?
Well, Zash covered all the stuff I was going to cover, so thank you, Zash. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, it just gets better and better. And I would say, as Kenny Loggins would say, this is it, but it's not it. So we will see you Monday night, July 5th at 10 p.m. for everything Zash just said. More Custom Mania action, more excitement, our great panel, more awesome guests. And until then, good night and good fight. Yeah, baby!